Mini enthusiasts, how are you doing? Welcome back. I hope you're all well and I hope you're having a great day. Today, obviously, we're back on the Racing Green. I'm going to be giving it a quick clean off to begin with because it sits in the garage while I'm doing other work, cutting and grinding and cleaning stuff, and it gets dirt and contamination on the paintwork. So we're going to give it a quick wash off just to get rid of that. But the most important part of today's video, we're going to be getting the grille refitted. It's really, really important to get the grille fitted and aligned nicely on a Mini. It's the face of the car. It's a really iconic feature of the Mini. And yeah, you can get it wrong. So stay tuned for this week's video. I'll show you how to get it absolutely perfect so the front end looks amazing. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll catch you in a moment. Cheers. Right, so there's the Mini washed, first wash, and back in the garage. It's actually quite useful to do to see whether I've got any leaks anywhere. I did get asked in a video a few weeks ago about whether I seal up the windscreens. I don't. I've never had to seal them up. I always make sure the rubbers are nice and clean, or I'm using new rubbers when they go back on. I've never had a screen leak. But as you'd have seen, definitely that side top of the door frame was leaking like a sieve. That was really easy to fix. So it's really useful just to give it a wash to see what's got to be done. So to do that, all I've done is wound down the window, knee into the door, and give the frame, you actually just bend the frame in a little bit so you get a tighter gap around the top of here. Really, really simple. And I've got a bit of a leak on the boot rubber, which is annoying because that's that new rubber. So I need to investigate and see where that's leaking, but the rear window isn't leaking, which is good. I've fitted the plaque on. That's quite a milestone, isn't it? Getting the John Cooper conversion plaque on, so quite pleased about that. And I'm actually gonna fit the grille on now. Now obviously I'm gonna need to take the grille off again to when it comes to fitting the engine. And I'm going to Rivnut the grille on. I haven't got the Rivnuts at the moment, so all I'm going to do for the moment is just drill a couple of holes, line the grille up, get it in place, and then when the Rivnuts turn up, I can then Rivnut it. There is a bit of a technique to doing the front grille. Mainly, first thing, start with your bonnet, get your bonnet exactly lined up, exactly where it needs to be, and then fit the grille to the bonnet, if that makes sense. So with this, I need to fit the catch on, I need to get the bonnet so it's perfectly fitted, perfectly aligned, and then you can line the grille up so it fits the bonnet, if that makes sense, because it's horrible when you look at minis. PL's probably one of them actually, where look, the gaps are awful. It's all right that end actually, but that end, yeah, big gap under here as well. But obviously when it's a new front end like this, no holes drilled in it, we can put the holes wherever they need to be. So I'm going to shut up for a moment. I'm going to get my catch. I need to get my catch painted actually. Might be a while. I'm going to get my catch painted, fitted, and then we'll get the grille fitted on. Right, we're going to have a go at just getting this very light panel dent out. All I'm literally going to do is go on the back of it on the inside with this screwdriver end, because it's soft plastic, and just manipulate it backwards and forwards a little bit, and we'll try and get most of it out. See how it looks. There we go, that looks better. It's not 100% perfect, but I'd say it's 99%. You can just about see it still. Like I say, that's the problem when the paintwork is as shiny and reflective as it is. It was a little bit more tricky to do, mainly because the area was about there we were trying to get the dent out. And that was behind this rib section here. So obviously what I'd usually do if it was a flat panel, I would just get the back of the screwdriver and then just manipulate. It's quite handy at the back here because you've got the light reflecting on it, and you can actually see, I'll try and show you, when you push the back of the panel, you can actually see the reflection changing, so you can see where you're working the area. And metal, it's like it has a bit of a memory. It's not, as long as it's not creased, because if it's creased the metal has either expanded or shrunk and you're really stuck then. But if it's a very slight dent like that, you can usually manipulate it back. But what I had to do in the end, again, nylon tool, just up on the inside, and I was just putting that up inside there and just using that to manipulate the panel to get the dent out. So there's a few more around the car that I need to do. There's a couple on the bonnet. There's possibly a few more little ones in the boot there. But that's how I do paintless dent removal on a Mini. Obviously not as good as professionals that do the really serious dents. But yeah, just a nylon tool, something like that, or the back end of a screwdriver, and it works a treat. Right, I'm literally waiting for paint to dry. So I've painted all the bits for the bonnet, latch and hinges. It's dangerous when I get bored, so I sorted out the loft, or sorting some stuff out in the loft, and I found some carbon fibre wrap that I bought probably 10-12 years ago for Vinny. Never used it. My wrapping skills are not great, as you can tell by all the creases. But if you squint your eyes really hard, it don't look too bad. So I just thought it would actually help with a bit of contrast, having black rather than white on the bench for when I'm filming bits. I didn't think it out very well though, because it's probably not going to hold up very well to being welded on or ground on, or having thinners spilt on it. But hey ho, even if it only lasts a few weeks, I'll just peel it off and go back to using the bench underneath. So what do you think of my carbon fibre race bench? No expense spared on Classic Mini Workshop. We are reinvesting the YouTube millions earned through ad revenue. Every penny goes back into the channel. Right, so there are all our bits. They've been painted in body colour and then lacquered. These are just done in 5-wheel alloy wheel silver and a bit of black hammerite on the spring. This is why it takes so long reassembling the car, because you end up doing bits like this. You've got to wait hours for it to dry before you can reassemble it. So we get that on the car, we can get the latch in, and then we can get that grille fitted. I was wrong a few years ago. So these parts, so the latch and that, this bit, they're actually done in body colour. I thought they were just black, but they're not. It probably makes sense actually, because you've got the latch sticking out the front of the grille, so you'd probably want that in body colour. But yeah, when they build the cars, they must be fitted before the car is sprayed. Right, so we've got the latch in place now. We've got the check catch, safety catch on the bonnet, and we've got the pin installed. I've lined it all up, and it shuts reassuringly solid. Alignment of our bonnet is good both sides now. It releases like it should. So like I say, all we got to do now is line the grille up, and like I say, at the moment we're just going to put the grille in with a couple of self tappers. I've got some rivnuts on order, and when those rivnuts turn up, we'll be rivnutting the grille. It just, I mean, self tappers are all right, but once you've taken the grille off 2 or 3 times, the holes just get too big, no good, and they don't last very long, whereas rivnuts will last indefinitely. Right, so I've already spotted a problem. So I marked it up with a bit of pen each side. So obviously I can drill it now, the bonnet's open. So if I get it in the position it needs to be, you can see the grille sits up too high. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is drill new holes, and then I'll probably need to grind this bit of the grille down. But that's the problem with Mini's aftermarket parts. Nothing fits perfectly. You always have to fettle a little bit. But I'd rather get the grille perfectly aligned. So I'm going to drill some new holes, and then we'll see how it goes. Right, so a bit more fettling required. Because the grille's higher up, our actual release latch I needed to take out and bend up a little bit so you can still get your finger on it, otherwise it was sitting below the grill. As like I said, we get this problem where we've got a bit of a step on here now, so I will mark that up and we'll grind that away, and then we'll put some hammerite on it just to finish it off. I had to elongate these holes a little bit so I can move it left and right for fine adjustment, and I've put screws down in the sides here, so it'll have, when we do the Rivnuts, I will probably go 3 along the top, the 2 on the outside, 1 in the middle, 3 along the top, we'll have 2 along the side, and that is perfectly adequate for holding the grill in place. Now, it is so important. I've seen so many, you know, potentially really nice looking minis, and the grills just fit absolutely awfully. If you go with sort of the factory holes on an aftermarket grill, because you can't really get genuine ones anymore, well, you might be able to from Lakeland. Really nice clunk, perfect shut, and as you can see, the alignment of that grill is absolutely spot on. Well, if you're going to be super fussy, maybe millimetres out. I might need to just fine tune that side a little bit, but I've got that adjustment in there now. But I think that looks really good. Like I say, the grill is the face of the Mini. It's so important you get it right. So that's all looking good. Next job, I'm probably going to put the number plate on. But like I say, this will come off again anyway. The bonnet's got to come off, the grill's got to come off, number plate will have to come off, all the suspension apart again at the front for when we refit the engine. Just if you're interested, and if you've never seen Rivnuts fitted before, this is how it works. This is a Rivnut gun. You obviously have different adapters for the different size of Rivnuts, but as you can see, when you squeeze, that pulls that threaded part in. You screw the Rivnut onto the riveter there, and you can see it's got a knurled end there, so when you pull that through, that actually crimps up that end and compresses it inside the body. Now what I do is I'll put a bit of grease on the Rivnut itself, so that when it's inserted in the hole in the bodywork, it gives it a bit of protection, but I usually wax the hole anyway. So there's the hole we're using. There's our Rivnut inserted, and yeah, they're just quite neat and tidy. Right then, so there's our Rivnuts done. They are so much neater and tidier, and like I say, you don't have to worry about with like self-tappers, the holes wear out. So I've put the screws in there for the grill at the moment. I'm just waiting. I trimmed off the top of there, so I've just put a bit of paint on it. I just need to wait for that to dry, and then the grill can go back on. Yeah, as you can see, so much neater and tidier than just self-tappers. What next? I guess wiper motor. I did start stripping the wiper motor down, but the plug was corroded in it, and when I tried to take the plug out, it just broke all the pins off. So I've ordered up a wiper motor park switch, so it'll come with a new switch. Obviously it's a new loom on the car, so I should be able to just plug that in. So next job will be stripping the wiper motor down, greasing it all up, getting it back in. I think it's going to be a bit of a pain. It's never easy to get the wiper motors in on the Mini. just because they're right up the back, and because I've got this nice new fresh bulkhead insulation, it makes it harder because it's all puffed out and it needs squashing a little bit.